Alright, now I need to measure this ball. Then I need to measure from here to here. Make sure I have it the same width properly. So what I'll do, I'll measure from here to here first to make sure we have the ball area. And when I look back at hindsight, it's a good thing that I had the wood the same. When I put the wood together, make sure it's the same height. Because when you're making these designs, they have to be the same height or same thickness all the way up. When I form that, that's got to be the same, that's got to be the same, and so forth. Same thing with the cedar wood. Now, cedar wood was larger on this one or the other one this way, but that was okay, just as long as they both started identically in this area. Because if one piece of cedar wood started down here, it wasn't going to match. Right? That's right. to make sure. Still doesn't look level. I got to make sure it's level, parallel, straight up and down, and not sideways. I think that's it right there. Right there. Okay, I need to clean up this area right here. I gotta slightly touch it up to make sure this is a smooth edge all the way around. And it's pretty smooth, but I had to add a little bit of red cedar sawdust in these areas because it was slightly chipped. Not bad, but ever so slightly where it didn't look right. So I sharpened my skew real good, okay? So I'm gonna touch it on the edge here, and then I'll sand it with 220. Okay, that looks better. I just have to sand it up. That looks much better. But I had to slightly touch that and clean it up. I'll sand it up. And that right there, I mean, details matter. Especially when you have matching candlestick holders or goblets or what have you. Details matter anyway, whether you do or not. Okay. One thing that's beautiful, I reckon it's the sapwood part of the Osage orange is this orangish area. I think I already pointed it out earlier. Okay, and I'm going to sand this up and then I'll be back. And then we'll work on the other one to bring it down some to match this one down here. Like I've said before, like 2 or 3 times, right? Alright, we finally got this piece back on. So we can finish these. Of course, I'll have to sand them still by hand and stuff, and, you know, fine detail stuff. But I changed these up. I decided that I did not like the little moat that was going around there. So I filled it in. I already finished this one. I filled it in. It's darker because of the Loctite glue, okay? When I put the final coating on there, it'll all blend together. You won't even know it was there. So anyway, we're going to do that. And I have to reshape this little area, like I said before, like the 4th or 5th time. Sorry about that. And I might bring this down just a hair, right in here. Got to make sure that's level also. So anyway, we see they're not matching, and we got to get them to match. Okay? And then we'll be ready to go. Ready to go. Now I'm going to smooth this area right in here. Now also, there's a little lump that I had there on purpose, but I'm going to smooth it out at this point to match this one. Best that I can. That's a key word. Now one more thing, it's not completely 100% running true. And you know what? I need to tape these down before they run around like barnyard children all over the place, in and outside the house, trying to keep the house cool. I remember when I was younger, my dad, I'd go out and play all the time. I was an outside person. But anyway, he would get on to us if, you know, if we went inside too much. But I didn't go outside. I mean, I didn't go in and out a lot. I just went outside and I stayed there a long time. These kids these days, they don't even know what outside is anymore, I don't think. And that's very sad because some of the most enjoyable things in life are outside. You know, you look at the stars and, you know, the fresh air and the sounds and just the smells and just everything is just so refreshing, nostalgic. It's good for your health, I think. You know. So anyway, let's get this smoothed out best we can. But what I want to do, because I can do this later, I want to go ahead and do this before anything might happen. So let me do one more measurement. That is from here to here on the other one. Four and a half lines. So it is right at, in fact, it's a tad more than the other one, but we're going to leave it right where it is. All we have to do is smooth this down, and I have to measure the roundness of this other area so I can transfer it over here. Because the roundness of this is smaller in circumference than this one over here, and that's the thing we have to correct. So anyway, I'm going to sand it up here. I got to add some sawdust here of some red cedar so I can make a nice defined line around the ring here. And I'll be back later, okay? We pretty much have them done. I got to cut them off. I need to add sawdust in places and fix it up before I cut them off and stuff like that. All right, I sanded them up. It probably took me a good 16 hours total. It took me a long time because part of the problem was I had to work on a drawer a little bit, get it level, and one of the ends I had to glue. I had to put some, not this one, I had to put a little bit of dust here on this piece, and then a little bit of the Osage orange dust on there to fill it in, so it because it was going down a little bit as a lump, and I didn't like that, so it had to be smooth. So I built it up, put the sawdust there, and I had to color it just a little bit, try to get it to blend in a little bit because it was darker than this. So I got to blend in a little bit. Anyway, got it all smoothed out. I put the sanding sealer on the whole thing except for the cedar wood. I had to resand it. I was trying to do something here and trying to get the dark area where I added sawdust, where the moat area is. I'm calling it a moat because it was a moat. It was just a dip, you know. And so I filled it in, and I filled it in on this one. This one's wider than this one, and it's darker. So my concern is, if I put the finish on there, is it going to be as dark as that ring? Because if it's not, it's going to stick out a little bit, and I don't like that. But there's not going to be a whole lot I can do after this. I'm just going to have to go with it. It's going to be what it is. I hope that it blends in with it very well, but we'll see. Anyway, I have to measure the circumference of the base here, because I have to space out 6 knobs. In order to space out 6 knobs, I have to get the measurement. So we're going to measure it, right? So let's see. Let me get a towel so I can lay this down. I want to lay it down directly on the, stovetop. Oop. Just did that one like that anyway, didn't I? So anyway, we're going to measure circumference of the base. And it's saying it's a tad over 15 inches. You know what? I think this base is a little bit bigger than that one. Just a tad. Not by much. You can't tell by the naked eye, but it's a little off. So, see, I'm learning things as I'm going. Let me get this down here. I didn't even show y'all. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Okay, this is a little bit more. This is right at 15 inches and 2/8, whatever. So let's see what this one is, because I have a feeling that one might be a tad bigger still, even though I did measure them. But the thing that I'm learning is, like I've said before, don't ever cut off that tenon, Linda, until you're completely done with measuring everything. Okay, it's about the same. Okay, so a little over fit. They're perfectly fine. They're both equal. Little over 15 inches. So, okay, I'm going to use the measuring tape still. I just asked the AI about it. No. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go with 2.5. 2.5 right there. Spaces apart on 6 knobs. I got some blood wood out there. I have changed my chuck jaws so I can fit small pieces on there and tighten it down on the lathe so I can wood turn some knobs. And they all need to be the same size, best that I can do. Alright, and we'll be back, okay? But before we do, let me go ahead and measure. Now, I'm going to measure from the drawer first, because the drawer has to have a knob for sure, right? Where is my pencil? Well, I got my compass pencil. It's always faithful. We'll just go like this. And I got to make sure that they are even and going down the center from this one. We don't want one up here and one down here, do we? No, we don't. We sure don't. That would not look good. 2.5. 1 knob. Where'd it go? There it is. 2 knobs. Now I'm just drawing a line right now. I'll put them, you know, spaced out evenly around it in a minute. That's 3. This is an interesting project. This is really fun. It's been challenging. I've learned a lot of stuff. This is my first set, like I've told y'all before. So, you know, I didn't get everything 100% right, but I think I got pretty doggone close. Pretty darn close. That's awesome. Now, I couldn't have done this earlier on in my wood turning because I didn't know a whole lot yet. This right here is more, I would say is more advanced, that's for sure. There's no doubt about it. You better know what you're doing some, because if you don't, and you go to trying to measure stuff and you're not measuring it right and stuff, wait a minute, that's not, ow, I poked myself in the stomach. Gee. How did I get that over there? Okay, and this one should be... Okay, they're pretty much spaced out. Okay, we got that one. It's a tad off, but it's okay. It's pretty doggone close. It's by a hair, where it would be added. I probably could add just a tiny pinch further, and it would put it about even. And I might still do that. So anyway, all right, we got it. And I'm gonna go wood turn some knobs, and then I'll be back. Okay. Alright everyone, we're going to do the knobs. This is a little bit long of a piece of bloodwood. Bloodwood is very hard. Very hard. In fact, I would say it's almost as hard as Osage orange, if not harder. Anyway, they're both hardwood. I'm going to cut it in half. And we'll take the other half if I need it and put it in chuck jaws if I have to have enough to make all 6 of them. They're not going to be real big, but still, just in case. Let's cut this off real quick. All right, it's 100 degrees outside, and it feels hotter than that.
Load up on guns,
Alright, I got some made. There's a couple that are a little bit big, so I probably won't use them. I want them to all be about the same size. Okay, we gotta drill right where. Alright. Let's do this magnifying glass on here. Right? Right here. Get these established. Now I'll drill the hole a little bigger than this with a bigger drill bit, but I like to get started with it with a small bit so it doesn't dance all over the piece and mess it up. Yeah? Okay, once I drill these holes, it's too late. I have to put them in now because I've drilled holes in it. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to at this point. Whoa, 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 whoa! Apparently, that was not in there. Clean that off with a little sandpaper. Okay. All right. Hey everyone, how y'all doing? It's been a little while, hasn't it? I was gonna put it all as one big video, but I was like, no. This is the longest video I've ever had. It is quite long. I surely think it would be 4 or 5 hours long if I did that. So no, we can't do that. So anyway, I had to split it up in parts. And anyway, I probably worked on this for what? 2.5, 3 weeks. It was a long project. I mean, all the measuring I had to do, and it was repetitious, I know. I hope y'all were able to stick with me about it. I know that it can get kind of boring, but I wanted to go ahead and show everything and show the process of what all I had to go through. So do you know that when you're making a matching pair, you have to be precise and you have to measure it, and it's going to take a lot of time. And it's worth it. It's more than worth it. They're absolutely gorgeous. I've learned so much. They're not perfect. They're not 100% matching, but with the naked eye, you can tell they are very, very pretty much matching. Okay, they're identical. They're beautiful. Now the drawer in this one, okay, so you don't have to worry about it coming out. Not that I know of anytime soon. I can't even find a drawer on this one right now. Where's that drawer? There's the drawer right here. This one's a little bit harder to get out. You gotta get your fingernails and pull it out, because when I put some Gorilla Clear Glue on there, it kind of made it stick a little more or something. But I'm glad. You can push it in. This end over here doesn't want to be... The end right here doesn't want to be flush unless you push on it right there. And this one's not coming out for sure. So anyway, do they look identical to you? They do to me. They look beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. There's a little bit of a something on there. Anyway, I was going to use polyurethane, but I was having some troubles with it. One of the things that I encountered with the polyurethane, hold on just a second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The main trouble I had with the polyurethane, and I don't use polyurethane, is that after I put the first coating on, I needed to put a second coating on. But before I put the second coating on, I had to sand it some more. Well, that required 2 or 3 hours more of sanding, and I was not going to keep doing that over and over. So I decided to go ahead, after I had sanded it down one time. In fact, I actually did put polyurethane on it at first, sanded it, you know, with the light, with a fine sandpaper. I think it was 320. So I sanded it with that, and that's when I found out about it, that I was not going to reapply it. I decided to go ahead and put the Gorilla Clear Glue on it. The Gorilla Clear Glue works well. It's not the best in the world. It probably would be best if I put the polyurethane on there, but it is what it is, and I got it, okay? So I went ahead and did that. It's got the captive rings. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous. Absolutely. Now this one captive ring is a tad smaller than all the rest. All three, there's 3 of them, they're all the same size, but one of them's a tad smaller. But it's okay. I mean, they're still there. Got captive rings on both of them. Isn't that awesome? So you can have captive rings even on candlestick holders. They don't have to be on goblets. They can be on other things too, can't they? So I got this. I was forming a lip where it was going to come down with a recess, but I decided to remove it because when I was putting, originally at first when I was putting the polyurethane on, it was very discolored. It was not doing well with that recess, so I had to remove it, and I flattened it out and sanded it out. So I sanded both of them to be even. They're both standing the same height. And by the way, I apologize. I thought I made a video of putting the knobs on, and I didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was thinking. I do not know. So anyway, it is what it is. I was just going to put a knob for the drawer, but I asked my AI, and then I asked my son, and then I thought they both said put knobs around the whole thing. So I thought, you know, I'll go ahead as a decoration, and I'll put knobs around the whole thing, so it'd be like a hidden drawer. You have to find out which knob is the knob that opens the drawer, right? Unless you're used to it. You can figure this one out once you're used to the fact that it is discolored right here. This one right here, you can figure out because of this right here, and I don't know why that's there. It may be that it was a crack and I had to fill it in a little bit. Whatever the case may be, if it's somebody who's never opened them before to find the drawer, they're not gonna find it that easily. This one just wants to be a pain, but I might have to sand it just slightly. I just don't want to knock it down too much and then it slides out too easily. I like that it fits real snug. And like I said before, you got to push it in over here. Now I had to shim these drawers up. I had to add some wood on the side and sand it down lightly over and over again until they slid in there and fit snug, and covered areas over here and here, because right where they were going in, there was like a gap a little bit, and I did not like that gap. So I had to fill it in. I had to shim it, and I got that shimmed. I got that going. But anyway, we got them finished. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, they're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I got them measured, and I used that string. I got to thinking about it, and I'm sure other people have used the string before. I didn't go searching to find out. The only thing I found out through AI was using a story stick or a template. That's the only things that it told me. It didn't say anything about a string. I just got to thinking one night, and I thought, wait a minute. I could use a string, and now I can just measure around it, because I can't measure it with a measuring tape. Even though the measuring tape bends around, it doesn't get in the grooves here. It doesn't get in the fine little tight spots. It's not going to work, so I got to use something. So I thought, why not a string? So I used the string, and I got that going. And it transferred the size to the other piece. And I didn't just measure around it. I measured like from here to here, or from here to here with the ball, or from here to here with the lip, from here to here, from here to here. So I had to measure everything to get it as precisely as possible. So anyway, I won't carry on. This is a long video. I decided I was going to split it in half, and I had some troubles here. I left out one of my video clips, and I had a lot of video clips too. And I also had to crop and cut and clip and cut. I tell you what, I must have done several thousand clips and cuts. I worked on this thing a lot. This was incredibly long, but it's rewarding. I mean, I enjoy it. I just don't enjoy sitting around all day long, clipping and cutting and cropping and enlarging, but I had to do that, and I'm excited about it, so I can get the video out. So we got it. We got it, and they are matching. I want you to tell me if you think they match. They're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. You are not going to buy these in the store somewhere. You will never find candlestick holders just like this. And you're not going to find them with an integrated drawer in the base like this. If you find them, they're usually going to be a square base, because people are not taking the time, or they don't know how to wood turn a drawer in there. And I don't know everything. I have to learn from other people. But this is right here, I just thought up, and I felt so wonderful. It was just like fantastic. I was gobsmacked when I realized, hey, why not a drawer for holding matches? So anyway, we got it. We got it. Isn't that awesome? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are smiling. And you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for all you regulars that come to my channel. I know you can't always come to my channel, and I get it. I mean, you have your real life. But thank you when you do, and you leave a comment. That means a lot to me. Thank you for all this time, 3 or 4 years that I've been, probably going on 4 years that I've been having a channel. So, I'm so thankful and grateful. Anyway, y'all take care. I better go, because this is long. And y'all keep it turning and burning, baby. And keep smiling. And never, ever give up, okay? No matter what life throws at you. I know it can be extremely hard, but you have to set your face like a flint against the wind. Right? You set your face against the wind like a flint. And you keep moving forward with your life. You don't want to move backwards. And yes, it's hard. I have no idea what you might be going through in life. But I know I've been through things. And the best thing to do is go forward. I love you guys. And I'm so excited to put this out and see your comments and see how y'all are doing. To see y'all. Not literally see y'all, but see your comments so I can see you. Thank you for sharing with me, for caring. All right. Okay, and another thing, I did finally look up about Osage orange and why it is called that name, and it's fascinating, some of the history about it. Anyway, I want to read this to you. The Osage orange timber gets its legendary name from a beautiful blend of a powerful Native American nation, a brilliant French mistake, and its unmatched reputation as the absolute gold standard for building lethal high-performance hunting bows. Did I say bowls or bows? Bows. The French mistake and the Osage Nation. The wood is native to a tight, fertile border region encompassing parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, the ancestral hunting grounds of Osage Native American tribe. When early French explorers and fur trappers encountered the Osage Nation in the 1600s, they noticed the trees were heavy with large, bumpy, bright green spheres that looked exactly like citrus fruits. The French mistakenly called the trees Osage oranges. While the fruit turned out to be completely bitter and inedible, the wood hidden beneath that yellow bark was a different story entirely. It was the most structurally dense, flexible, and rot-resistant hardwood on the entire North American continent. Long before Christopher Columbus ever set sail, the Osage Indians discovered the incredible physics of this timber. They called it Bodark, B-O-D-A-R-K, which came from the French translation Bois d'Arc, meaning bow wood. When you split an Osage orange limb, you find a striking yellow heartwood wrapped in a thin layer of white sapwood. The Osage bowers realized that the yellow heartwood is incredibly strong under compression, pushing inward, while the white sapwood is highly elastic under tension, stretching outward. By carving a bow that kept the white sapwood on the back, facing the target, and the yellow heartwood on the belly, facing the archer, they created a natural spring-loaded catapult. An Osage bow could launch an arrow with terrifying speed and force, yet it was so flexible it would never snap, warp, or lose its spring, even after years of hard weather. Because the tree only grew in a specific geographic pocket, it became the single most valuable trade asset in Western America. Tribes would travel hundreds of miles just to trade with the Osage Nation for a single blank of bow timber. Historical trade logs reveal that a single well-crafted Osage orange bow was worth the price of a high-end quality horse and a heavy blanket. It was the ultimate symbol of wealth, survival, and elite craftsmanship. Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? So this was used for making bows. That is incredibly awesome. So anyway, we know now where it got its name. Sorry about my oven. Stop it. Stop it. Go away. Anyway, I just want to read that to you. Just a little bit of history. I like to find out about things. I don't understand why, because it's not orange. It's not orange in color. This is a little bit on the orange side. So now we know it's because of the fruit that the French mistook for oranges, even though they were not tasty or edible. Okay, well, I'm glad to share that history with you, and I hope y'all know now why it's called Osage orange. Alright, the only thing is the hole is a little small. I had to really kind of twist this. These are beeswax candles here. These are the best. I had to twist it on there to get it in there, and it's going to strip away some of this. So I apologize about that, dish, when I send these to you. It's a little bit small, but I think that you can manage. I think that you can maybe shave it down a little bit at the bottom. This is a regular paraffin wax or something. I don't know that. Those can be kind of shaved down. I don't want to do it too much. But anyway, the beeswax candles will turn in there where you can get them to fit. So we got, that's funny. I'd rather have it too tight than too loose. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, they're beautiful with the beeswax candlesticks in there because it matches the Osage orange perfectly. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It's the same color as the Osage orange. I'm just going to have to send you some more candlestick holders here. I mean, some candlesticks. I'm just going to send you these 2 beeswax candles with them. Now I'll clean up a little bit here. I apologize for that. Anyway, let's light those babies up. I'm going to put let's find a... Now I'll take these out before I mail them because I don't want to get in trouble having some kind of something that starts a fire. We got a matchbox in here. It wants to be stupid. Let's put this one this way. This one right here, this drawer right here only holds it. You can hold it this way, but it's a tight fit. You can put it in there. It'll go that way. Excuse me, I didn't have you in the camera. It'll go this way, but it's a tight fit. But it'll go much better this way on this drawer. Now the other drawer. Now I shaved it down just a little, but it's still being a little stubborn. The other drawer, it should go both ways. No, it'll go this way also. Okay, so anyway, so we get our candlestick holders together. Say the electricity goes out. And here we go. Pull it open. Get our matches out. That's so funny. Let's light this up. Let's light these babies up. Now, it's not nighttime. So. Let's turn this out. These are... It broke in half. That's how cheap and crappy matches are these days. Golly. It went out. Golly. Okay. Aren't they beautiful? Absolutely stunning. And then I would put the matches back in there, but I don't want to forget about them. And then I go to mail them, and then I get in trouble. Because I didn't mark firearms or whatever. So push that back in. Gorgeous. Let's turn out the light. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And these can be put on the table. Have a nice candlelit dinner. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. This can be for the candlelit dinner. Put them on the table. Have your nice, wonderful dinner. Enjoy the ambience. Enjoy the nostalgia, the tranquility, the serenity, being serene and just being relaxing. It's beautiful glow, beautiful yellow glow.